So, I've been a bit of AWOL lately. Uh, been a bit tired, been a bit exhausted. Also, Cyberpunk pulled me in, so yeah. That's, uh, that's that, I guess. But, today I'm going to showcase Loop Hero. Now, this is an interesting little roguelite, and I say roguelite in the loosest way possible because it's not. It is a roguelite, but only in the loosest sense. Now, usually I show the options menu first, but well, in true fashion, you don't have much, but you have some customization you can play around with. And honestly, yeah, it's pretty good. You can really tweak a little. You know what? Let's go pink today. Why not? And then, like, there are some quality of light features that you can actually enable, and there are some, options for people with problems. So, hey, that's always nice. Now, what kind of game is this? Well, it's a roguelite, like I said, and it's quite a strange one, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Now, this game is by Devolver Digital. You might remember them. They made Cult of the Lamb recently, which has been a very big hit for streamers. Quite nice. So what are you looking at? What is this? Well, this is your village. Now, the village is where the roguelite aspect of the game is. So if I were to click this, you can see that each one of these sort of add something. Now, you see, most of these are roguelite in the sense that when you build them, you get an effect that you didn't have before that will persist through all your runs. They also add a card, as you can see up in the right corner there. Or to click something like, I don't know, the farm. You'll see that, it does add stuff. Now, there's some progression in the game, aside from just roguelite stuff. And the main progression you're going to be dealing with is cards, classes, and starting gear, or gear that sort of lingers for you later. So this unlocks the rogue, and I believe this, I think Crypt unlocks the necromancer. So there's 3 classes so far. Unless they've added something very recently, which I don't think they have, but I wouldn't be able to tell you because I haven't unlocked some of the more late game stuff here. So how does this work? Well, if you click supply, that's what you have right now. But what I need to click is I need to click craft. Because you can actually craft some stuff as well, which means you can kind of turn some items into others if you're lacking something. The button that you need to click is Expedition. Now, Expedition allows you to tweak everything. So here you have, I guess, your traits that you can sort of add. Now, you might wonder, like, some of these are, like, bad. Well, I wouldn't say bad, but they're, like, strange. You get some of this from doing certain things in the game. So, for example, I can click some of the stuff here, and it will sort of enable itself during my playthrough. So, for example, resource cap in the expedition is increased by so much. You can click that maybe. Each day passes so and so faster. Now, why does all of this matter? Well, these particular traits, so these are the ones that I have right now. Rat, wolf, best damage, blah, blah, blah. Why does this matter? Because it allows you to get more and more powerful as you sort of play. And this is the roguelite aspect of the game that really starts to kick off. Some of these are stronger than others. And some of these are like bad. They look bad, but they're not. And I'll explain why. I will just show you the cards first. Now, here are the cards. You can only have a certain amount in your deck. 15 to be exact. You can only have minimum 7. And all of these add stuff. Now you might wonder, why would you want to add enemies? Well, the boss will show up after a certain amount of time. That's inevitable. It will happen. So your objective is to get as strong as possible, with as much gear as possible, and as much resources as possible before that happens. Now you can continue after you killed him. There's no one can continue endlessly, I believe. So you're not going to get stopped, per se, but you will have to sort of tweak your run towards whatever you're trying to do. Now, some of these have effects that are hidden and you won't discover them until you play around with them in the game, but that's okay. I will show you a little bit of it. So, aside from all of this, you're gonna have to pick a class. Now, the class, I mean, you have three. There's the Necromancer, there's the Warrior, and there's the Rogue. And they all have, like, different little sort of effects. So the Warrior, he's, like, pretty average, I guess. Like, he's not good at anything, but he's not bad at anything either. The Rogue has low health, obviously. But he has Vampirism, which allows him to leech life. Necromancer's kind of weird. He summons minions next to him, but he never attacks really. He does, but he doesn't really... It's not the focal point of his class, so you're more attack speed focused. And summon quality and level, right? That's what you're about. It's one of the stronger classes, also. Now, you can pick some of the more difficult... expedition, I guess you could call them points or tiers. Call them tiers. So how does this work? Well, I'll show you. So here's the map. Now what I want to do is I want to pause so that I can explain what's going on. So you're probably confused right now. So every enemy that you kill will drop you a card, usually. I'm not sure if that's the case every time, but it is the case quite often. Now I haven't unlocked the Necromancer's full sort of, I guess you could call it gear slots. So he's not as strong as he could be, but that's okay. So I'm going to explain everything here. Up here is a day progress bar. This matters because nighttime spawns different enemies. This is why I have a 15% faster day, so that I can get as many spawns of them as possible. This is the progress bar for the completion of the map, right? It will appear around the campfire. Now this is important because the boss will summon buildings around your campfire. So if you have stuff blocking that, he'll be weaker. So this is something for you to plan towards. Now, why would you want to spawn enemies? Like I said, because every enemy killed has a chance to drop you loot. It also has a chance to drop you experience. This all accumulates towards your character's power, and this is what you need. If you're not strong enough, you will probably die. Which, I mean, yeah. That's not what you want. So this is an arsenal. It's quite dangerous to put this out, but it unlocks an additional equipment slot. But it reduces the item quality by 15%. So this is a risky thing to put down. But we're going to do that anyway. We're going to put it down somewhere that isn't too intrusive. About here, I'd say. So this will unlock me the shield, it seems. That's nice. The beacon increases my speed around the map. Now, it also increases the attack speed of every unit, including mine. The combat is automatic, and if I hold my mouse over anything, the game pauses automatically. So, again, this is a stress-free game. Like, if you've got a bad day, you're stressed, you don't know how the day's gonna go, it's not, you know... You can kind of play the game and it won't pressure you because everything is planned by you. Like, you decide everything. Mountains are different. So mountains are one of the tiles that you can put down that will just give you a benefit. If you put many mountains next to each other, you get a very big benefit, which I will endeavor to do. So I'm going to put the mountain... I don't remember if putting in the corner is good, but I'm going to try it anyway. Now, everything that you put down, every building, usually every building, everything in the game, gives you a resource, right? This one gave me pebbles. This is the mountain. If you die, these resources that you use to build your village, you lose 50% of them. The only time you don't is with certain traits, which I don't have, or by going around the loop and into the campfire. Reaching the campfire, you got a choice. You can leave this button here, and of all these found, or if you're in the camp, 100% of resources will come with it. So there's strategy here. Now the graphics of this game is trash, but it's never really been the point of this game. The point of this game has always been, well, what you're seeing right now. The sort of peculiar little game style that this game sort of oozes. It's quite a cute little game. I don't quite remember how to play this, I will admit. It's been a little bit of a while, but I'll put a forest there. Now, rocks are different. Now, rocks, they will get you more if you have a mountain next to it, but we don't want to do that just yet. I do believe if you put, like, many of these rocks next to each other, you get the equivalent of a mountain. But I don't like using rocks, as a general rule. Personally, that is. Because I find that rocks, they don't give enough for the tile they take up. That's also a thing in this game, tile management. You're going to have to manage it at some point. Right, so meadow is different. Meadow is quite good. Meadows, I like to put in here, usually. Because, I mean, there's very little else you can put here. Like, for example, here I'll put a meadow. Because, again, I can't do much with that particular tile, so... Now, the game will pause, and you can kind of, sort of... just enjoy the game. And this is not going to be a very long video, because this game is... what you see here is what you get. This is what you get. And it's addicting as shit. Like, this game is extremely addicting. It's very addicting. Because the game sort of oozes this quality. And given it's a Devolver Digital, I mean, I'm not surprised. The game is just phenomenal. Just like Cult of the Lamb is. The only thing else that I can really say is that you do have potions. It will heal whenever you need it. You don't dictate when it heals. Okay, so we'll put a vampire mansion here and maybe one here. Yeah, why not? Another meadow. I want a lighthouse about here and maybe here. Reach as far as possible. So about here maybe. Put some meadows. Now, game will get harder as time goes on. Significantly harder. Like, very hard. Oh yeah, blood growth can only put... okay, yeah, forgot about that. Alright, now we've made a full round. If I want to leave, I can. I keep all the resources. That's how that works. These will get converted into currency whenever you get too many, so you don't have to worry about that too much. Now, there's a part of the game that I have to talk about, because of course I have to. I am morally obligated. The game is $14.99. Just flat out. Quite expensive for a roguelike of this caliber, but the game is extremely good quality. This game does what it sets out to do perfectly. Like, there is nothing in this game that's bad. It doesn't have any microtransactions at all, except for the soundtrack that you can buy separately, which most games do have. Aside from that, there's nothing like bad I can give the game, like, honestly. There's extreme strategy in this game if you want it. Like, extreme. Like, what you place down, where, how it synergizes, what happens when it synergizes. The loot quality level going down in order to get more equipment. It's extremely... like, there's so much depth that you can explore. And honestly, if you don't like a certain playstyle, you can simply switch class and it'll be completely different. And I think that that level of choice and the level of sort of depth that allows you to bring to the game is quite good. What else do I need to talk about? There is aspects of the game that will make you feel quite hard in the beginning. I will mention that. The game will kick your ass. I say that about quite many games, actually. But it's mostly roguelites, because they do that. This game is quite brutal, because you have very little user input when you're fighting. But you can read about certain things. Now, why would you want to do that? Because you can actually switch out gear and lose it permanently, but if you feel you need something right now, and you're going to die if you don't, the choice is there, right? Okay, there's a vampire here. Let me show you the harder part of the game then. Yeah. But you can read about everything. See exactly. So, the reason you want some of these harder enemies is because they do grant you specific loot as well, I believe. So, you can actually end up getting quite good stuff from making the game extremely difficult. This here is extremely dangerous. For many reasons, but the biggest one being that they heal constantly. And I just took a potion, as you've probably heard, because my character's in danger. Now, they will attack random targets. Sometimes that's you, sometimes that's not. I find that it's a bit random when that happens. So, don't feel too bad if you get absolutely destroyed. Because it's gonna happen eventually anyway. But hopefully, by the time you get to this point, you'll have a better hang of it than I'm currently having. Because again, I haven't played this in like a month or so. And you do forget. So this is quite interesting. So, stacking attack speed makes this character very strong. It's definitely the way to go. It's a bit of a general tip for you there, but attack speed is king when it comes to this character. Now, when you play certain amount of stuff will spawn. So having a big village means a bandit camp will spawn nearby. I might think that's bad, but it's not. It means more things to kill. And, yeah. It'll also give you quests, these, which basically means you have to kill a specific mob on your next loop around. Now, I'm gonna do this. I don't recommend doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyway in order to get the mountain set up. I think this will work. It will. But this will create a mountain peak, which will basically be a gargantuan buff. And it will spawn a harpy for you to enjoy. It also spawns a... I'm not sure if it spawns a goblin village. I don't remember quite. But I think after a certain amount of bounds, it does. Alright. Now I'm going to be putting a mountain around. Usually you should probably not put the mountain in the corner. Now that I remember, you should put it like... here. And then you put mountains all around to get extra health. Right? Which is just good. It's obviously health king. Keep you alive. But yeah, this is the game. This is the entire game. And honestly, it's pretty good. I won't lie to you. It's, I recommend it. Even though it's quite pricey. It's quite pricey for what you get. But there's many hours of content here. Definitely. I have about almost 20 hours played in this game. And I have not gotten nearly to the end. Like if I were to exit. And by the way, you can exit at any point. But the game will throw you out. As you can see here. We're no longer... we're no longer in the game. But I can just boot it up again. It won't take that long. You get to see the intro as well. Doesn't have one. But hey, if it did. Yay. Devolver Digital. This is the loading screen. Quite nice. Very thematic. I won't spoil the story for you, but the game does have one. And it's pretty good. What I want to show you is the trophies here. So everything that's colored in, like that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. These are the ones I have. As you can see, there are many that I do not. I won't show you too much, because I don't want to spoil you. I'll hop in directly. So you can pause the video and read anyway if you want to spoil yourself, but as a general rule, I try not to spoil the story, because that's not the point of this channel. It's really not. Like, I'm a mechanics guy. I like mechanics in the games. I like explaining the mechanics, understanding the mechanics, showing you some of the intricacies. There's one part of the game I haven't showed you. Which, I mean, it's not that important when you get down to it. All it is that there are some sort of, what would you call it? Kind of like, oh, got an old painting. There are some that's like a collectible. See? You can put it in your thing and you can get like extra stuff. There is an aspect to the game I haven't explained yet. Like you saw how I did like 9 of these rocks and then I got a mountain. Well, there's a treasury. If you put like, if you put it in the middle here, you put 1, 1, 1, 1. So like you surround it basically. Not fully, but almost. Then you get a massive resource bonus. Right? Massive amount of basic resources. So like there are very deep mechanics in the game. But yeah, that's literally all there is. But yeah, that's all from me. I'm not gonna plug myself because fuck that shit.